So, Robert, first and foremost, how do you feel about the victory?
I'm absolutely stoked. It was a tough fight, and I think it was a great debut into this sport against a wrestler, and yeah, couldn't be more happy.
And especially since it was a tough winner against a tough winner, does that make you feel any better about the Smashes, guys, that you guys are top dogs?
I think that's a two-part answer. It's just I'm absolutely elated that, you know, there's one winner and there can only be one. But no, that was definitely a highlight. But also the fact that he was a purebred wrestler, and that's how he won his matches. He harassed people with the wrestling, and yeah.
Can we just talk about your fighting style? That arm hanging down low and the one arm cocked and ready to go. It makes people nervous. Made me nervous.
It made me nervous, to be honest.
Does it?
Yeah, it was all part of a strategy because I think everyone who's seen Colton Smith fight knows that he goes for that single and he goes for that wrestle. And having that left hand on my leg ensures that if I'm caught unawares for that double leg or single leg, I've got an underhook instantly. Plus, it's daunting trying to look here and here. But yeah, I definitely had to. It was almost suicide, and I wouldn't have done it if I was up against, you know, a purebred striker. But it was a strategy for us, a TriStar and my coach agreed with, and it did its job well.
Now, you also landed a lot of strikes while you were backing up. Is that something that you particularly drilled or something? Because it seemed like you were very effective even when moving backwards.
Definitely. I researched his fights. I saw his fights and I saw how he fights. He runs forward with the flow to try and pressure people up against the cage and wrestle. And I'm a distance fighter. If you see me fight, I like ducking in and out. And not going forward too much ensured that he couldn't duck under my hits. And going back, I was just picking him apart.
It also seems that you were talking about your hand, keeping your hand low. It also seems during that fight that Colton was kind of out of his element. He struck much more than I think a lot of people thought. Was that kind of playing in your brain? Like, was that a little unexpected when you were in the octagon?
Definitely not. I knew that once the takedown was stopped the first few times, and the fact that I wasn't going straight back and getting pressured up against the cage, I was circling out and keeping him distance. And as well as when he came in, the few times I hit him, and he started to respect the power, and he was hesitant. And then I enforced my will on him, and I think he wasn't used to that. He's used to forcing himself on other people and harassing, and yeah, it just worked well.
Talk about the stoppage a little bit. It looked like he was, I don't know if he said anything to you after. He looked like he was a little initially upset, then he wobbled over to you, and I don't know what was said. What were your thoughts on the stoppage? Was it clean, not clean?
Personally, I hit him I rocked him multiple times throughout that fight, and I was doing a lot of damage, and I think if the ref didn't stop it, it could have got real dangerous, because I'm not the one to type of stop.
He did catch you at the end of the first round, though. What was going through your mind when you went down? You recovered pretty quickly?
Keeping my left hand glued to my leg was kind of a suicide tactic. I was always kind of wary of that overhand, but I don't think I gave it the respect it deserved until I got hit with it. It didn't so much rattle me as just kind of shocked me, took me off balance a bit. But definitely going into that second, I was like, okay, it's there. I know it's there now. I know it's range, and I know it's power, to be honest. And that's not blackout power, but I'd rather not get hit.
This is your first time in Las Vegas, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Do you have any special plans now that you won to enjoy the city?
This is the city of eating, and I'm going to go absolutely ballistic.
Well, the good thing is you probably know Ray Seffo, who will be a great guide for you. I've seen pictures of him this week with Mark Hunt. I know James Tahuna is here as well. All you guys coming from down under. Has that made the week any more enjoyable for you to have sort of, you know, your countrymen here with you?
Definitely. The fact that I have countrymen in the same card just enforces that we have a whole country behind us, and that's a huge support. When I was out there in the cage, I knew that there are a lot of my countrymen watching me back at home and just gluing themselves to that screen, and couldn't be more happy to try and make them proud and make Australia proud.
Now, when I was in Australia with you in December, we were talking about the gyms there. There's not a lot of unity in the gyms, a lot of competition, and I think I remember you saying something that if you were able to win, you wanted to kind of change the mentality and sort of help things down there with fighters and with, you know, kind of unifying more. Has that changed at all, or were you able to make any strides in that direction?
Definitely. I started going out and pulling fighters from other gyms and going to other gyms to try and just build a connection of that. Let's help each other to try and take it against the world. But yeah, it's a slow process. People don't like new ideas, and you can tell by our government at the moment, it's really reluctant to try and get into the MMA scene, Victoria especially. But I think if we all band together and just show them that this is a sport for athletes and it deserves to be respected, and give it the proper funding and proper respect it deserves, then yeah, I think we'll all have a higher standard of the sport ourselves.
What can you tell me about your shirt here? It's obviously made special for this fight here. It's got the Reaper on that. That's your nickname, eh?
Yeah, that's the fight name I decided on, the Reaper.
And why is that? How did you come to that decision to have that as your nickname?
Well, it was a long process of. I'm very picky, but people know that I like finishing fights. I like ending people. I like ending. I don't like leaving it to the refs, and I thought death was a good way of getting that out there.
Sweet. That's good.
You're so laughing at me. I should have thought of something else.
Hey, you said you wanted to thank your sponsors.
Yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to Fear the Fighter, Booster Fight Gear, and BSC Supplements Australia, as well as MMA Apparel, and all the fans in Australia. Without you guys and TriStar, PMA, it wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be here today. Thank you so much.
Congrats.
Just a quick one.